are glad to have your company tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Abera. Now, the plenary sitting of the Chamber of Deputies has approved the substance of a draft law revising the 2025-2026 national budget, which proposes a reduction of 80.4 billion Rwandan francs. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Yusuf Murangwa, presented to the plenary session the rationale for revising the draft law determining the 2025-2026 national budget and explained why the reduction is being proposed. Before approving the substance of the draft law, members of parliament raised questions regarding the budget reduction and whether it resulted from insufficient planning. In responding to the questions, the minister stated that the reduction in the budget stemmed from effective cooperation between Rwanda and the World Bank, which provided concessional financing and reduced the amount that would otherwise have been allocated. In the past 6 months, 65% of the budget has already been executed, with major projects undertaken and many progressing satisfactorily. The plenary also approved a loan agreement worth $100 million signed in January between Rwanda and the International Development Association. The loan will be dispersed in 2 installments and repaid over 30 years at a 0% interest rate. It also approved a draft law amending the law governing the functioning of the National Bank of Rwanda to align it with international legal standards and address gaps identified in an assessment conducted jointly by BNR and the International Monetary Fund. Moving ahead, the Ministry of Local Government is calling for the revision of certain provisions of the law governing public procurement in order to speed up the implementation of projects, particularly those that directly benefit citizens. The law stipulates that government institutions and agencies allocated funds from the national budget are not allowed to exceed a tender value of 100 million Rwandan francs within a year. This is one of the key concerns that the Ministry of Local Government presented to members of parliament serving on the Public Accounts Committee during discussions on the implementation of the 2022 Public Procurement Law. The City of Kigali is among the institutions that were highlighted in the Auditor General's report under the category of entities with serious issues. Gerard Abiyingoma, the Director General in charge of corporate services in the city of Kigali, explained that some provisions of this law hinder them in implementing certain required activities, which are then recorded as irregularities in the Auditor General's report. This issue has had consequences across various institutions. Computers may break down in schools, yet awarding a tender to repair them becomes a complex process. Members of Parliament questioned how the government could incur costs as high as 2 million Rwandan francs for a computer that has no special specifications. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, Bob Gakire, called for certain provisions of the law to be revised, noting that there have been changes in the way institutions operate. The chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee in the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Valence Muhakwa, emphasized that only once they have finished hearing from the key institutions affected by the law, they will consider whether amendments are necessary. The current public procurement law in force was introduced in 2020, replacing its 2018 predecessor after it was found to contain various gaps. The judicial staff have been reminded to continue fighting corruption and to be characterized by delivering quality and professional services to those who seek their assistance. This was emphasized during the closing of the week dedicated to fighting corruption in the courts held in Kigali. The closing of the week was presided by a march against corruption, followed by a football match between a team composed of public justice sector employees, including court staff and prosecutors, and a team of non-public justice professionals, including lawyers and professional court bailiffs. The Chief Ombudsman, Madeline Nirere, urged justice institutions to continue improving service delivery and to intensify efforts to eradicate corruption. The Deputy Chief Justice of Rwanda, Alphonse Hitiaremye, reiterated that further measures will continue to be implemented to strengthen the fight against corruption. He also repeated his call for judges and prosecutors to avoid providing poor services, noting that this delays justice and causes citizens unnecessary hardships. Currently, Rwanda ranks 41st in the world in the fight against corruption, 3rd in Africa, and 1st among East African Community member states, according to recent findings by Transparency International. The ambassador of France to Rwanda emphasized that the relationship between his country's parliament and that of Rwanda could help to further expand the cooperation that already exists between the two sides. He made this statement this Thursday after holding discussions with the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Kazarwa Gertrude. And our Gladys has more on the details.
Cooperation between Rwanda and France is reflected in sectors such as education, health, politics, and others. For example, in 2021, when President Emmanuel Macron visited Rwanda, he announced plans to partner with Rwanda to establish a department teaching technology that combines electronics and mechanics known as mechatronics. This was later implemented. Students who studied these courses at the Integrated Polytechnic Regional College IPRC Tumba, located in Rulindo district, state that they gained many benefits that prepare them to meet the requirements of the job market. As girls, studying technical things and mechanics has been very beneficial for us because before we were told that no girl could study them. But now we are allowed to study everything. If you want to learn, they give you the machines and show you how to use them. It is very valuable because even when we go for internships, we have confidence and feel that we are capable. In the health sector, through the French development agency Agence Française de Développement, it provided funding to help expand Musanze Hospital in the northern province, increasing its capacity to more than 600 beds for patients. This relationship between France and Rwanda was further strengthened this Thursday when the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Kazarwa Gertrude, received the ambassador of that country to Rwanda, Aurélie Royeguna, who also highlighted the role that parliaments play in expanding cooperation between Rwanda and France.
Nous pensons que c'est tout à fait central pour l'employabilité des jeunes Rwandais.
In the field of education, providing necessary equipment and enhancing students' skills in mechanics is considered a good way to build the knowledge of Rwanda's youth, and we are doing everything possible to ensure they reach the job market with required competencies. Today, we clearly see the results of this through the quality of education delivered by higher technical and vocational institutions across Rwanda.
Tous les collèges de Rwanda Polytechnique à travers le pays.
The Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, Honorable Gertrude Kazarwa, stated that one of the plans within this cooperation is to establish a group responsible for strengthening good collaboration between the two parliaments.
Twavuze cyane ku byerekeye imibanire yacu n'inteko zishinga amategeko aho dushaka ko.
We spoke mainly about relations between our parliaments, where we want each parliament to have a group dedicated to good collaboration between us. Once we have that group, we will then be able to work on a memorandum of understanding and determine the areas in which we will cooperate as parliaments. In 2021, the government of France also provided financial support amounting to 7.5 million euros to promote teaching and training at IPRC Tumba, as well as other vocational training institutions.
Thank you, Inara, for that report. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, in an interview with RFI, stated that the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo continues to deliberately violate peace agreements, noting that since they were signed, it has continued to launch attacks against the AFC M23 group as well as the Banyamulenge.
Il n'y a aucun jour qui passe sans qu'il n'y ait d'attaques aériennes de la part du gouvernement congolais.
There is not any single day that passes without aerial attacks carried out by the Congolese government targeting AFC M23 positions, which is a violation of the ceasefire. What is even more concerning is that these attacks also target villages inhabited by the Banyamulenge at a time when there is a growing rise in hate-inciting rhetoric.
Village Banyamulenge dans un contexte de montée des discours de haine.
Moving ahead, young software engineering students at the Adventist University of Central Africa, AUCA, say a new partnership with Test Solutions Rwanda strengthens Rwanda's vision of becoming a regional technology hub. William Evans Mutabazi has more.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed between AUCA and Test Solutions Rwanda will focus on software testing, testing automation, and quality assurance, which are critical competencies in the global digital economy. For students, the agreement offers more than academic collaboration. It provides exposure to industry-grade tools, mentorship from international experts, and pathways to employment aligned with the global standards.
As we know, aviation, I think it was not open to software engineers from Rwanda. So this is going to be an open for us as I'm a final year student. So this is going to be a path to enter a good career in aviation. As we know, I think many aviation software engineers are not from Rwanda, so this is going to be a vast opportunity for us as students.
We're going to be engaging in software quality assurance and also aviation, which is a good program that is new to our campus. It's not that new, but it's a new company that has signed to our university, which is going to be a good opportunity to those students, because we're not all going to be good at programming and coding, but we're going to join in other programs that are going to help us to pursue our career as well.
AUCA's Vice Chancellor, Dr. Pacific Nizeyimana, says that aligning academic programs with industrial needs is essential in producing graduates who can directly contribute to Rwanda's digital transformation agenda.
We really take this as an opportunity because our students will be involved in learning about those solutions, but also be part in providing solutions. As academia, we need to bridge between academics and industry. We are really focusing on quality assurance and also software testing, which is really important in this IT ecosystem.
The Managing Director of Test Solutions, Mr. Kinob Christian, noted that with the emergence of artificial intelligence, programming can be done a lot by artificial intelligence, and thus the need to invest in software testing and quality assurance, beginning with students to support Rwanda's ambition to export digital services.
So first of all, we see that the future in the development cycle is mainly in the area of quality assurance, because mainly the normal programming can be done a lot by AI tools already, but we always need the human control that things are working. That is why the tester role is getting more important. On the other hand, Rwanda is building this new great big airport, and you also open an aviation academy. So obviously Rwanda wants to become an aviation hub. With this in mind, and with us working in the airline industry since 20 years, being one of the leading testing companies in the aviation sector worldwide, it is very clear that we want to bring this here now, especially as there are many new airline techniques happening right now. They are coming and being developed right now, and they will impact the whole industry worldwide for the next 30 years.
As tech firms continue to establish operations in Kigali, partnerships between universities and industries are increasingly seen as strategic tools for translating national policy into tangible opportunities for Rwanda's youth. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from Karongi district say they are confident they will receive full justice in the trial of Claude Muhaimana, a former driver for various institutions in Kibuye during the genocide against the Tutsi. Muhaimana was previously a driver for the Projet Pêche and later became a driver for what was known as the Kibuye Guest House, where acts of the genocide against the Tutsi were carried out. He has been on trial in France since 2021, and the Paris Criminal Court sentenced him to 14 years in prison after finding him guilty of complicity in genocide and crimes against humanity. Survivors from Karongi district say they know Muhaimana well and the role he played in killings committed in various parts of Kibuye town, including Gatkwaro, Home Saint-Jean, the Catholic parish of Kibuye, Nyamishaba, Central Kibuye, where he lived, Bisesero, and other areas. Claude Muhaimana appealed the sentence, and the appeal trial has now begun in Paris. The survivors say that the fact that he is being tried is important, and they hope to receive full justice so that he is held accountable for his actions. Claude Muhaimana is the 8th person to be tried by French courts for their role in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. None of those tried has been acquitted of their charges, and some have received life imprisonment sentences. To date, Rwanda's justice system has issued 1,040 international arrest warrants for genocide suspects living abroad, more than 600 of whom are in various African countries.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye zibimamo.
On that note, we have come to the end of tonight's English Bulletin. On behalf of the news production team and the technical team, thank you for sticking with us here on RTV News. My name is Martina Avera, and see you next time.